Hello everyone, my name is Ravikant from AIA section, roll number 8. In this presentation, we are going to understand and learn about what are resource files in Android. Getting into the presentation, first we'll try to know what are the topics that we are going to cover in this presentation. Firstly, we'll try to understand what is meant by resource in Android. And secondly, we'll try to understand what are the different types of resources that are available in the Android. After learning the theory part, we'll try to look at the basic implementation of these different types of resources. And finally, we'll try to summarize the concepts that we have learned. And at last, we'll conclude the presentation with a with a key takeaways. Before understanding what is meant by a resource in Android, we'll try to understand what is meant by a resource in general terms in computing. In computing, resource is anything that helps the system or an application to perform certain amount of tasks. Resource can be divided into two types, that is hardware and software. Hardware resources are those resources which exist physically, that is like CPU, memory, storage, etc. Whereas the software resources are those resources which are non-physical, such as programs, configuration files, libraries, and so on. Both the physical and the software resources go hand in hand by helping the developer to deliver a meaningful results. Now let's understand what is meant by resource in an Android system. In Android, a resource refers to nothing but a non-code element that an app uses to function or define its user interface and behavior. This includes items like images, layout files, string, colors, fonts, animations, and menus. While developing an Android application or any application, it undergoes various stages of life cycle, and this life cycle is known as software development life cycle or SDLC. Resources such as images, layouts, strings, etc. Come under the phase of design and implementation phase. In the design phase, the designers of the application contact the stakeholders and take their input and design the application's user interface accordingly. In the implementation phase, the developers build the code which actually helps to interact with the UI components. Therefore, we can say that the resources come under the design and the development team in the SDLC. Now, these resources are nothing but a non-codable resource files, and these reside in the global directory, that is app, and these resources can be accessed in the Kotlin code via auto-generated R class. Till now, we have learned about what is meant by a resource in Android system and where does it reside in software development lifecycle. Now, we'll try to understand the different types of resource files in Android system. There are around 7 to 8 resource files in Android system. For example, drawable resource, mipmap resource, values resource, etc. and so on. First, we will understand what is the prominence of each resource, and then we'll look into its implementation in the Android Studio using XML and Kotlin. Now coming to the first resource, drawable resource. Drawable resources are the fundamental components of an Android application. They serve a dedicated repository or directory for graphical elements, including images, icons, and various shapes. These resources support a various range of file formats such as PNG, JPG, and even more advanced file formats such as SVG and XML based ones. These centralize the assets such as drawable resources directly define the aesthetic appearance and design language of the UI components, from buttons and background to custom icons. The resource system ensures graphics scale seamlessly across devices by automatically selecting the correct density specific assets like MDPI, HDPI, XHDPI by preserving visual quality and consistency on the screen. Now coming to the second resource type, that is layout resource. Layout resource is nothing but it is used to define the UI elements such as text, button, or input field, and so on. These are used for both defining the UI elements and as well as placing the UI elements in the activity, which allows the maintainability and easy accessibility of the users. There are a lot of UI components. We'll look at around 3 UI components which are very basic and widely used among most applications. The first one is text view. Text view is used to display the text to the user in the interface. It allows customization such as we can increase that we can decide the font size, the font style, the color, and so on. Edit text. Edit text is used to take the input from the user. Inputs can be of any type like email, passwords, and so on. And the third one is button. Button is a clickable event which gets triggered when an event occurs and performs a certain action. We can also define certain properties such as the size of the button, the icon, background style, and so on. The third resource which we are going to look at is value resources. Value resources in Android are XML files that store constants such as strings, colors, dimensions, and styles. They allow developers to define values once and reuse them across multiple components by ensuring consistency and maintaining maintainability throughout the app. For example, strings.xml hold all the text used in the app like button labels, titles, and messages, making them easier to update text in one place and also simplify localization by supporting multiple languages. Similarly, colors.xml stores values used throughout the app, helping maintain a consistent color schema and allowing easy updates without modifying each layout individually. Dimensional.xml defines dimension values such as margins, paddings, and text sizes, which promote uniformity and simplifies adjustments across different screen sizes. And finally, styles.xml groups attributes like font, color, and padding to ensure a consistent look across UI elements. Using values resources, developers can make apps more organized, maintainable, and customizable with a simplified design and functionality. Now coming to the fourth resource, that is bitmap resource. Bitmap resource in Android is mainly used to store the app's launch icons. Now we might be having a question that even we can use drawable resource folder also as well, right? But bitmap is it is only specifically used for storing the launch icons of the applications, and it has multiple densities such as MDPI, HDPI, XHDPI, XXHDPI, and XXHDPI. So why we have to use bitmap for launching icons? It is mainly focused only for this particular type of resource, such that the icons appear sharp and clear on the device with different screen resolutions. Unlike the drawable folder, which is used for general images and graphics, the bitmap folder is optimized for only launching icons on the applications. By using bitmap resource, developers can provide a consistent and professional appearance for the app icon on the home screen, app drawers, and system UI elements, improving the overall user experience. The fifth resource is menu resource. Menu resource define app menus in XML format. There are different types of menus such as option menu, context menu, navigation menu. This keeps menu design separate from activity logic. Menus improve app navigation and user experience. There are several steps which needs to be followed for creating menus. First, we have to create a folder by right clicking on the resource folder and select the option new and select Android resource directory. There choose the resource type as menu. Then create menu XML file by right clicking menu, then selecting new, and then menu resource file. We can name it anything, for example main menu.xml. Then add menu items with the help of item tag by specifying the ID, title, optional icon in the XML file. Inflate the menu in activity. Override the onCreate option menu and call menuinflator.inflate with the parameters as r.menu.mainMenu, menu. And finally, handle clicks. override on option item selected and check item id to perform actions. The sixth resource is font resource. Font resource is Android is nothing but it is used to store custom font files such as .ttf, .otf and so on. We might be having one question in mind that already we have few existing fonts. Why again we need to allocate a separate resource for that? As the font style differs from user to user, one user might like a particular font style, the other might be comfortable with the another style. So to make this thing feasible and more accountable to the developers who are creating the application and make it pleasing to the users as well, Android has come up with dedicated font resources. So these font resources can be downloaded from externally, or they can directly be embedded into the code. By doing this, developers can maintain consistency in the text styles, enhancing the app's visual appeal and strengthen its branding. Custom fonts improve readability, convey the desired tone, and make the user's interface in a more engaging and visual, distinctive way compared to the standard ones. They can be appealed to various UI components like text view, button, edit text, and so on, enabling a cohesive and polished design across the application. Now coming to the last resource, that is raw resource. Raw resources in Android system are used to store unprocessed files such as audio, video, PDFs or text files. Unlike other resource types, files in the raw folder are not modified or compressed by Android, allowing developers to access the data exactly as it is. These resources are ideal for custom media, configuration files, or any content that needs to be read and processed directly by the app. By using raw resources, developers gain flexibility in handling data, enabling precise control over playback, parsing, or any custom processing required for the application's functionality. Now we have learned the theoretical concepts of the resource files in Android. Now we'll look at the implementation of them with the help of a basic project. As we have learned in the theoretical part that the resource directory lies inside the global directory, that is app. As we click on the arrow mark, we'll be getting a drop down list in which the resource directory is located at the third position. When we click on the resource directory, we will be having several types of subdirectories such as drawable, layout, mipmap, values and XML. We'll try to learn how to create menu in resource. First, select the resource file, right click on it, select new and click on Android resource directory. Select the resource type as menu, then click on OK. A resource directory will be created, that is menu under resource. Right click on menu, select new, click on menu resource file, where we can create our own menu resource file. I would like to name it as menu underscore pop up. It is used to mention the list of items that are going to be present in the menu. To create a simple menu application, we have used the linear layout, under which we have declared the button UI element, for which we have mentioned the attributes such as width and height and ID as button show menu, and displaying a text within it as show pop-up menu. So as we are trying to showcase the pop-up menu implementation, the functionality of this button is when we click on the button, the pop-up menu will be displayed with its items. So to declare the items of the menu, we are going to make use of the earlier created menu popup.xml file. So here, as we can see, we have declared the list of items with its title as edit, delete and share, and with their corresponding IDs. So to make this logically possible, we are going to make use of main activity.kt, here in which first we are going to use the find view by ID to access the button element from activity underscore main.xml. Then we are going to make use of a special function on button, that is set on click listener, under which we have called show pop-up menu function, and we have declared here the show pop-up menu function. So in that function we are making use of menu inflator. Menu inflator is nothing but it is an inflator which converts the menu items into objects. Then we have used another function of menu, that is set on menu item click listener. So what this does is, out of the list of items mentioned in the menu, it will listen to the item which has been clicked. So to check this, we have used the when keyword. When keyword is an alternative to if else conditional statements. So we are checking one by one. We are checking whether it has selected the edit option, or it has selected the delete option, or it has selected the share option. Based on the selected option, we are going to display a toast message mentioning the option that has been selected by the user. If none of the options are selected, then we are going to return the false. We'll try to run the application and check for the output. So I'm going to click on the run button. Yeah, we can see the application is opening, and we can see clearly that a button is visible which states that show pop-up menu. Now I'm going to click on the button, and we can see the pop-up menu is clearly visible with 3 items: edit, delete and share. Now I'm going to select edit option, and we can see here a toast message showing edit. Again I would like to show with another option, that is share. See here we can see that we have clicked share. We will try to summarize all the concepts that we have learned till now. In Android development, resource files play a vital role in defining the appearance and behavior of an application without hard coding values into the program. They are stored in the resource directory, which contain organized subfolders such as layouts for UI design, drawable for images, values for strings and colors, bitmaps for launcher icons, menu for app menus, font for typography, and raw or XML for additional configuration or data files. Each resource is assigned a unique ID in the automatically generated R class, allowing developers to access them efficiently in both XML and Kotlin code. This structure simplifies design updates, ensures compatibility across devices, and allows Android to automatically select the appropriate resource for different screen densities, orientations, and languages. Overall, resource files form the foundation for modular, adaptable, and well structured app development in Android. So, to conclude the presentation, in Android, resources are non code elements like images, layouts, strings, fonts, menus, and raw files that an app uses to function and provide a rich user experience. They are organized in the resource folder and can be accessed through the auto generated R class, which allows developers to separate design and content from logic. Resources make apps easier to maintain, update, and localize for multiple languages and screen sizes. Hardware and software resources together ensure that an app runs efficiently and interacts smoothly with the device. Proper use of resources also improve reusability, consistency, and performance in an application. Overall, resources are essential for creating flexible, scalable, and user-friendly Android apps. Thank you.